Evening, everyone, and welcome. We are going to get started here in a little bit. Welcome to the Jefferson Chalmers Mainstreet Masterplan meeting. Lots of good stuff going to happen this evening. We're going to give people just a minute to come on. I'm going to get us on Facebook Live. And we're going on. Welcome, everybody, to the Jefferson Chalmers Mainstreet Masterplan meeting. We're gonna probably get started just about 6:05. So if you're one of those people who is rushing home for this, I want you to go ahead and grab yourself a beverage, use the restroom, get some popcorn. If that's the kind of person that you are, you want to have some popcorn, that's fine too. We got some really good stuff happening tonight. Really exciting stuff happening. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you. Look at your hand up. Hey, Lonnie Thorpe, you had a question already? We've got one more panelist coming. We're gonna get started. It's so far. No, looks like Fat Mike made it. Hi, Elizabeth. Frank, good to see you. That Jackrabbit is in the house. Mary Lloyd. Here we go. Paul, Stephen, Tatiana. See you guys. panelists set up and then we'll be ready to go. Okay. Looks like we've got everybody set up now. I appreciate everyone's patience while I got to sort it out. Welcome to the Jefferson Chalmers Mainstreet Masterplan meeting, April 15th, 2024, tax day. Those of you who haven't filed your taxes yet, today was the day to do that. Left you're in the emergency zone, and then there's an extension that goes, I think, until June. I'll make sure we get that information out to you. Let's talk about this meeting tonight. We got a special meeting tonight. I want anyone who hasn't already to register and vote with Election Buddy. We're going to be voting on a tenant over the course of this week. So that means you can still get registered. And the voting will be open through the 22nd, which will be next Monday. The Q&A box is there specifically for you to put your questions in. I know that sometimes we have these burning questions. We want to ask it now. Please use the Q&A box to do that, because that way we can answer your questions in real time instead of you holding on to your question till the end and maybe you forgot and maybe it's changed and all those things. So just use the Q&A box. We can get all the questions answered. And if we get a question that we can't answer right away, that's a good way for us to go back and find out what the answer is and then reach back out. This is also being streamed on Facebook Live. So if you've got a friend or a relative who says, I'm not really familiar with Zoom, it makes me uncomfortable, I can't do it, they can go on Facebook Live, go to East Jefferson Development Corporation, EJDevCo. That's our Facebook, and you can live stream it, and we are monitoring that page as well. So if you've got questions, Fab Mike, I'm going to answer your question real shortly. But if you got questions or concerns or want to participate, you can still do it from Facebook Live. Why are we here? JEI and EJDevCo create conditions to directly drive inclusive development and foster growth throughout the East Jefferson corridor and its adjoining neighborhoods. We ensure that long-term Detroit residents are able to benefit from revitalization of our community through economic development, implementing clean and safety programs, and preventing displacement. Our last meeting was in February. We had some team updates. We heard from Tatiana Grant and the project that she was working on. We had some Q&A and announcements. Tonight's discussion, 14628 East Jefferson potential tenant presentation. 14628 East Jefferson, formerly Norma G's Caribbean Restaurant. Now we'll be doing something different there. We'll have some EJDevCo project updates. We'll have some representation from the FEMA team to ask their questions about things that they're doing. We'll have some team updates, Q&A, and announcements. So we're going to start with the EJDevCo side, and the first thing we're going to talk about is 14628. Mike, this is for you. We're going to register for Election Buddy. Election Buddy is how we keep account of all of the voting that goes on. I'm dropping the link in the chat now to register to vote so that everybody has it. Once you're registered, we will send out a notification to you letting you know that you can vote. You'll just log in and vote. Vote opens up tonight at 7 p.m. and will go through 1 a.m. on the 23rd. So technically through the end of the 22nd, which is next Monday. I would encourage you to let folks know, even those who aren't here, in the voting, there is the presentation that you'll see tonight. And even we'll also have this on our Facebook page so people can look back at it and see, and we'll make sure that we have it on our website as well so people can look back and see and make an informed decision. 14628 East Jefferson. Like I said, the former Norma G's Caribbean restaurant. What we heard from community is that they wanted more quality restaurants, not fast food, that they wanted healthy food options, that they had an interest in Black-owned businesses, job creation opportunities, and more bars and restaurant options. So when we heard that, we started looking. And what we found was this wonderful business owner who's already in existence, who may have an opportunity to do more on our commercial corridor. And that person is Nya Marshall. Nya Marshall owns Ivy Kitchen and Cocktails. A little further down Jefferson on the north side, you probably have seen her mural or tasted her wonderful food, or if you're like some of the folks I know, you've had a couple of drinks down there. This will be a good chance to hear from Nya and hear what her vision is for the site. I am going to really proactive about making sure she has access to control this so she can drive. 14628 East Jefferson Ave. Nya, welcome. Uh-oh, are you muted? Let me get you together.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
We're wonderful.
Fantastic. Lou, how do I move the screen forward?
On the right is forward. On the left is back.
Okay.
The blue dot.
Gotcha.
There you go.
That's you or me?
That's you.
Okay, perfect. Just a little test run there. Am I in charge now?
You're in charge. You have the wheel.
Awesome. I'm in my comfort zone. Hi, everybody. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Nya Marshall. As Lou stated, I do own Ivy Kitchen and Cocktails down the street at 9215 East Jefferson Avenue. Hopefully, you guys have heard of us. And like Lou stated, tried some of our wonderful food and cocktails. I wanted to give you a little bit of details about the project that we are pursuing for the 14628 East Jefferson Avenue project. And basically what our goal is to bring is basically a culinary endeavor that's a little bit more modern, a little bit more upscale, with a focus on fusion flair. And what fusion flair is, for those that don't know, so it'll be indicative of a multitude of cultures and also a rotating menu. So in the spring, the menu would change seasonally. Basically, the menu would change from a food perspective as well as a cocktail perspective. In addition to that, we will have coffee and a coffee bar as well. So some of the concept highlights that I just stated, we'll have a coffee bar, which means we will have, it will be also like a cafe style. So if you want to pop in and grab coffee, espresso, your Americano, things of that nature, that'll be an option for you as well. If you want juice or smoothies, that'll also be an option for you as well. The concept will carry brunch. Excuse me one second. Brunch as well as wine for those that are interested in such. We do have a little bit of experience going back to the wine and the cocktails with that. So we will be bringing in our resident sommelier to bring in seasonal wines from the city, because there are several different winemakers in the city that we plan to use to keep it local. There are several growers of produce that we currently use at Ivy. I don't know if you ever heard of Jerry Hebron, Oakland Avenue Farms. She's on John R. But she is also one of our she's a Black-owned farmer, urban farmer, that we will also be using as a vendor. We're hoping to partner with Raphael as well to use as a vendor as well for some produce, a healthy produce, just to keep it fresh and also keep it local. Dinner cocktails as well. We will also feature a highlighted brunch menu that will have seasonal fare, traditional brunch items, as well as some more eclectic brunch items as well. Our dinner menu will be like our focal point, if you will. That will also feature seasonal menu items from our chef. It will also feature some seasonality items. So when you'll see when apple season or pear season comes along, those will be highlighted and those will be featured because we do like to feature also Michigan farms as well. For those that do not drink, we have what we call our mocktail menu, which is our non-alcoholic menu, and that will consist of cocktails, mocktails, beer, and peripherals for those that care to partake but do not want the alcohol or the spirits. So this is a sample menu with some of the sample pricing for each of our menu options. As I stated, the coffee bar will have the espresso, the cappuccinos, the lattes, the Americanos, the juice bar. We will have the healthier juice options, which is the green tea detox. We'll have some of the more flavorful options that I prefer, which is the berry blast as well. In terms of mocktails or brunch, you'll see the mimosas, traditional, Bloody Mary, traditional, but you will also see some fun brunch cocktails as well for those that like to get up and indulge on their Saturday and Sunday mornings. Dinner cocktails, we will have a traditional cocktail menu, but also some fanfare with that as well. And you can see the sample pricing, so you can get an idea of what that pricing looks like. There's a little bit more there. 1 second. So in terms of wine, we also will carry, like I said, Michigan wines. There are 2 Detroit wineries that we would love to carry for that we've been in talks with. There's one coming actually in our neighborhood. It's called Grander Cru, right on Kercheval. I think she's opening, it's the trolley lady. She's opening, I think, June. And so we would love to carry her wine. We like to keep it local as much as possible. So most of the house wines we feature will be local from Detroit and from the state of Michigan. Traverse City, as many of you know, has some of the best wine around the world. So we will be carrying the Grand Traverse, the Riesling, the Chardonnay, the Sauvignon Blanc, etc. So that, again, is we like to keep it as local as possible. And again, these are our price points. The brunch menu, again, we will have some traditional features and fare, but we will bring it in more cultural aspects of it. So when you see Women's Month, we might feature features from women chefs from around the world. You might feature during Black History Month, more soulful features. During Arab American Month, we might feature those. So again, we have a seasonal rotating menu, but we also bring in seasonality, seasonal fare, and it'll be the same with the dinner menu and the dinner cocktail menu as well. But again, take a look at that. I'll leave it for a couple seconds so you can kind of see the price points of where we expect to be in alignment with. A little bit about me. I won't read all this. If you care, I'm sure Lou will send it to you a little bit later, but my name is Nya Marshall. I am the owner and operator of Ivy Kitchen and Cocktails. I am a born and raised Detroit girl. I actually still live on the east side. I live right in our neighborhood. I live in the Marina District, not minutes from Ivy, actually. So a little bit about my food journey. I am a James Beard Legacy awardee and a James Beard Well alumni, as well as I am on the Independent Restaurant Coalition Board, as well as the Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association Board. Food is a lot. So my passion with food comes from connectedness. Coming from a space of food insecurity as a young person, I always wondered why we didn't have nice restaurants or healthier food options or just nice places where we can gather, us meaning Black people, in our own communities and in our own neighborhoods. Because I always thought that was important because I would go other places and I would see these things. And when I was younger and college age and went to college and came back and so forth, and things had not changed. In fact, they had gotten worse where you could only go to the gas station. And obviously we can all see improvement. We have Raphael right there offering the Green Grocer program. We also have unfortunately Lester did not last, but just the notion that he was able to make it and sustain the 5 years that he did, that's a wonderful feat, because these are the things that's needed in our community for our community to thrive. Community thrives with people, businesses that are related to people, your food businesses, your dry cleaners, your hardware store, you know what I mean? Things of that nature, your shoe repair shop, your daycare centers. These are the things, the connectedness of people is what help and thrive, makes communities thrive. So with that being said, My goal was to provide a fun place, a hip place, a place where you can get healthy food options, quality food options, as well as have fun in my own community that you can walk to in the evening for dinner and then just walk home rather than having to drive downtown or drive outside the city. Instead, you're bringing it right to the neighborhood where people are living, because it's not like there's a lack of people, it's just a lack of businesses in these communities. A little bit about me, more about the food. So I am big on quality food. So the food that we sell is on par with the same food. We have the same vendors as your Joe Muir, the Highlands, some of the best in the business. We too carry the same vendors, meaning that these are our food purveyors. My fish is flown in fresh every single day. The seafood is flown in fresh every single day. All the eggs, all the produce is grass-fed, cage-free, no antibiotics, things of that nature. That's important because I think that it's really important that we care about what we put in our bodies. That is kind of the mission on how my culinary career has began and what it's rooted in. It's something that I am very, very passionate about. In addition to that, I like it being sustainable, meaning that we are giving back to Mother Earth. We actually do compost all of our food waste. And in turn, in the spring, we turn it, that same compost, we grow our flowers and our microgreens with it. So that is also, when I say locally sourced, it is not just to say, hey, we're supporting local businesses, but we're also supporting Mother Earth because we're reducing the CO2 mileages to get these products to our spaces as well. I kind of went on about that, but I'll move on. If you have any questions about that, let me know at the end. A little bit beyond the kitchen for me. I talked about the food policy board. I talked about that. Unwavering commitment to culinary arts and community. I talked about that as well, probably a little bit too much. So I'm going to go to the next slide now. This is actually my staff. So as you know, a leader is nothing without their team. So this is my general manager. She's been with me since day one. Actually, all of my management team has been with me since day one. If you've ever been to Ivy, you know the people that I'm about to show you right now. If you've been there twice, they probably know who you are. So this is LaTanya Richardson. She has 30 years hospitality experience. She is a person that manages all the day-to-day operations for our hospitality group. She is a wonderful person. If you've ever met her, I'm sure she's very memorable. Again, all of our people, including myself, we're all ServSafe certified. We have food safety training. We actually have Red Cross CPR training. And since the onset death of our beloved chef and friend, Max Hardy, we've gotten defibrillators in Ivy as well, so that we can, try to mitigate any happenstance or any type of urgent issues that arise. So we also go through training for safety, not just for food, but for people as well. And when I say we, I'm referring to myself and all of my management staff. This is a little bit more about LaTanya's career and the highlights of it. Again, she's SafeServe, she's CPR, and currently we're getting training for defibrillations in honor of Chef Max and his recent demise, for those that knew about it and knew him as well. She is a person that actually helps me do what I do and helps make Ivy wonderful. This is Kai McDaniel. Again, if you've been to Ivy, you've seen her, you've met her, you know how wonderful she is. She's a little bit behind the scenes because she's our kitchen manager. So she's a person, and what that person does is make sure that all of our inventory is processed properly, that food is fresh. Our food, again, is flown in every single day. So managing inventory is a very important job for us because, again, we do adhere to the first in, first out management level. Again, she's SafeServe certified. She also has 20 years of hospitality experience. I kind of went through that a little bit, so I'm going to go forward. This is our chef, Michael English. We also have a co-chef now too, Chef Brittany Brown. She's not featured here, but this is our executive chef, Michael English. Mike has been with me since the beginning. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy looking at these photos. And Mike has, I think, 15 years of culinary experience, maybe 17 now. But Mike has been on a journey. He's worked at most of the high-end restaurants around town. He has actually been cooking since he was 9 years old. He became a chef at a young age of 23 years old, and he's been featured on many articles and many programming that you've probably seen in the past. He is the person responsible for making the food so fantastic. A little bit about Mike. This is my assistant manager, Shamika McKinley. Again, if you've been in the Ivy, you've probably seen her the most because she actually manages the front of the house operations. So she's responsible for more of guest services, events, and our catering arm, any type of hospitality programming that goes on at Ivy. Again, we've hosted the governor, we've hosted the lieutenant governor, the Black Caucus dines with us once monthly. The mayor quite often frequents Ivy. So we have a good amount of experience, and we're hoping to bring all of this love, all of this attention, all of this experience down to the Jefferson Chalmers area. And this is who we are. This is my leadership team right here. We're missing one person who's not here featured. Her name is Chef Brittany Brown. She is a younger member of our team. She's been with us maybe a year and a half. This is a couple older photos, but between all of us, this is who we are. We make up Ivy along with additional staff members, but this is my team and I, and this is who will be downtown. I'm sorry, down in Jefferson Chalmers, provided you guys desire that. So with regard to our staffing plan, so we obviously recruit locally. Just about everybody that works, not just about, literally 100% of the people that work for me live in Detroit, and 85% live in the 214, 215, 224, or 207 zip code. So we pride ourselves on hiring locally. I find there's a lot of benefits to hiring locally, obviously bringing economic development to the city and to the neighborhood. But also, I find that it's easier for people to get to work. They tend to be happier when they work in their communities and they realize the impact that they're having in their own local neighborhood versus venturing out in other spaces. So we do have local recruitment initiatives. We do work with the city of Detroit with Detroit at Work. Nicole Sherrard Freeman is the person that we work with. She's actually the director over Detroit at Work for our recruiting efforts. In addition to that, we host, actually, we're going to be planning one too, local job fairs to give people immediate access to us, to ask us any questions and to apply for any positions that they deem necessary. Hours of operation. So our goal is to be open. We're going to do a little bit of market research on this. So in the beginning, we will be open 6 to 7 days per week from brunch to dinner time, and probably Monday through Sunday, and then maybe Tuesday through Sunday. We'll see how that goes and what the community desires. And maybe you guys can give me some input about that at the end of this so we can know exactly what you desire rather than doing a bit of trial and error. But currently, as it stands right now, our goal is to provide lunch and dinner 7 days a week. A timeline for opening. I'm sure a lot of people have questions about this, like, Nya, when are you going to get open? Well, this is our timeline for opening. The concept and planning, that's the phase that we're in right now. The walkthrough and the structural assessment, there's a lot that goes into opening a restaurant. I wish it was just a matter of getting the keys and opening the doors, but that's simply not how it goes. There's a lot of regulation from a city level to a state level and a federal level that comes into opening a restaurant. Fortunately for you guys, we have a lot of experience doing this. So we can manage the process as smoothly and as seamlessly as possible. So our final goal to get open with everything would be 4 to 6 months. That would be the earliest I think we can get open. But obviously, we want to get open as fast as possible. And I'm sure you guys want us to get open as fast as possible with the summer on horizon. I think I went through hiring and training. So just a little bit about that as well. I think I forgot one pivotal note about that is that when you work for us, so a little bit about it. So most of my leadership team started out in lesser positions working for me, and that they actually have moved on to leadership positions. So if it is desirable, if this is your choice, if hospitality is a career that you want to pursue, because it's not just a job. Many of us are very passionate about it. Many of us have dedicated our lives to it. And so if you are one of those persons that say, hey, I love people. I love being in the hospitality business. I love bartending. I love serving. I love, being in a position of leadership. These are options that are available. So what we try to do is build people up for greater positions. Obviously, we train you for the position you are in, but we prepare you for positions that you desire to have. So that is our goal. So a couple of things about a personal statement is I do understand the Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood. I believe I understand it a lot considering I'm from the East Side and I have family all over the East Side, especially in the Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood. And as a native Detroiter, and again, I do live in the Marina District. I live minutes away. I understand Detroit as a whole, but definitely the East Side, I would say a little bit more because I'm from the East Side. And my commitment for the East Side is to bring it back to the glory that it once had. Thank you. And again, my name is Nya. Thank you so much for your time and patience. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you, Norma. I'm going to take this remote back from you.
Okay.
And I just want to remind folks to register. I'm going to drop that right back in the chat so people can do it again. That they can register. Oh, if I haven't put it in here before. Everyone, here we go. Register to vote.
You'll register to vote.
Once if you're not already registered, now let me be really clear about this. If you already get text messages or emails from us to vote, you do not need to re-register. We already have you. But if you are not registered, and I think Fat Mike made it, ask the question. The link is in the chat right now. Go ahead, grab that link. We will send out that message to you. Literally 7 o'clock tonight, the messages will go out. People will have all week to vote. And the cool thing is, if you're interested in seeing the presentation that Nya just shared, it will be in the voting. So you can just go in and go through those slides, take your time and really read it and see what all is going on and all the exciting things that she's bringing to this project.
Lou, can I say something really quickly?
Sure.
If anyone has any questions that they're not comfortable asking me in public, you can please feel free to email me and I'll drop my email in the chat. But my email is simply Nya, Nya, @ivykc.com. So if anyone has any questions, absolutely anything or any concerns, please feel free. My door is always open. Shoot me a quick email and I'll be sure to respond directly myself.
Awesome. So we'll do the voting as usual. Voting, we have to make sure that it's inclusive, the process is inclusive. We have a community vote. We give you an entire week to vote so that it's not urgent and you don't have to rush and it's not conflicting with everything. And if Nya gets 70% or more of your vote, then we'll be moving on to the next step. If for some reason she doesn't meet that 70%, then we would have to start looking again. So I want you to really think about this, make the right choice for you. And again, the registration is in the chat. We're gonna keep moving here. There are some questions in the Q&A box. Nya, do you see the Q&A box there? Okay, so if there are any questions in there that you want to respond to, you can just respond to it directly. And we're going to keep moving here.
Nya, there was one question about family friendly, and I wanted to make sure you could call out the kids menu because I think that may have gotten lost in the presentation. And as someone with kids, and I know Sarah asked a question about family friendly and kids menu, if you maybe talk about that a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. So yes, we are definitely family friendly and we plan to have a kids menu in limited capacity. So when I say limited capacity, meaning that it won't be a vast menu and you won't receive crayons or coloring books, but there will be menu options perfectly sized for children that are on the healthier side as well as on those days when they're feeling a little bit gluttonous on the fair side as well. So yes, we will have a kids menu on a daily basis.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Maya. I want to take this time to pass things over to Josh so he can go through the EJDevCo projects really quickly, so we can keep things going.
I will, and thank you,
Hey Josh, can
Lieutenant.
I just intersect
Please,
one quick
please,
moment?
please
Hey
do.
guys, I'm
Yes.
gonna hang on for a few minutes. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat or wait to the end, and I'll still be on to seeing if anyone has any questions. Thank you so much for your time again.
Yeah. And thank you, Naya, so much. And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I couldn't be more thrilled to be here tonight with Miss Marshall and her team, with the possibility of her being able to open a second location here along East Jefferson. Some of the questions in the chat were, asking about sort of things with her concept, but also like, what have we heard? And I think Lutalo pointed out some of the things we've gathered from folks over the years. Another thing we heard more recently from folks was that while they really like Detroit Soul, people were also looking for, a place more of a slightly upscale place, a little bit maybe fancier, but yet approachable food, healthy food, again and again and again. And the more time we spent with Naya exploring this concept, the more these things just came to the fore. And so we were super thrilled to have this opportunity. But as you know, this is an important part of our process. If the vote comes back in a week and we're north of 70%, we'll move into sort of final lease execution. But as we've been sort of traveling this road with Naya for the last several months, I really do feel this is going to be a great fit for the neighborhood, and we're thrilled that she was willing to consider this location as well too. So. That being said, I'll just very quickly, a few updates. The Marlboro Apartments, we continue to move along on those, focusing on leasing. Most of the tenants have renewed, but we still do have spaces available. We have a few affordable units that have become available in the north building at 1031 Marlboro. So if you're interested in touring the spaces, all the units are ready to go. We're at about 65% occupied right now. Call our leasing agent at Sweet Properties, 313-962-1800 extension 3. Couple other tidbits here. We're still getting pricing on construction of the south parking lot, south of the 910 building, and we're getting pricing on the north parking lot. With any luck, we'll be able to construct the south green parking lot, south of 910 Marlboro this season, but we're doing some negotiation with a few contractors that's out for bid. The north parking lot is probably not going to be constructed until next year, given that we have to finalize the funding source for that yet. But either way, there are units available, and please come on out and check them out. Couple of quick things. As you know, we had these two buildings on the market for a while to kind of test the waters, to see if maybe there was an operator that wanted to look at purchasing one of these buildings to renovate them. We had them on the market now about 6 months. We have really not gotten any quality offers for these buildings. So we're kind of taking a step back on these and looking at a more sort of familiar model in which EJDevCo and JEI directly drive the redevelopment of these buildings. We've got another potential restaurateur who's interested in partnering with us to renovate the former Crown Cleaners building, 14313. 14326, the south building here, we're exploring a few other new concepts. Potentially a retail incubator, which we would have a series of small retail bays we could use to help people test out their general retail scenarios. But we're getting some of the construction pricing on these, so we'll kind of keep you posted on these concepts. They get a little bit more firmed up and everything too. The big enchilada, the Gateway project. I think we've previewed a few potential preliminary designs for this. This, as you know, is shaping up to be about a $15 million development. 2 stories of apartment buildings up here, mixed income, 10,000 square foot of retail space. And then on the corner here, on the Alter corner, a new construction 2-story building that would house the corporate headquarters for Jefferson East and more commercial space. We are sort of exploring the finance stack on this. It's most likely going to be a combination of historic tax credits, new market tax credits, and we're kind of put together the pre-development budget, and we're looking for financing to fund all of the pre-development work. Once we're able to secure that pre-development financing, we'll then be able to dive into a deeper dive with the community, looking at design elements, unit mixes, programming types, and things of that nature. So stay tuned on this, but this is probably the biggest project we're going to be pushing on in the corridor in the next year as well. So we'll get folks convened when we have a little bit further along and have a little better idea of the pre-development financing. So hopefully know a little more in the next month or so. Those were sort of the big real estate updates right now. A lot of other things bubbling up on the JEI side. But that being said, Lutalo, time for questions for Ms. Marshall, or how do you want to proceed right now?
I'm trying to steal the mouse back from you. Hold on just a second. If there are any questions for Nya Marshall, if you just haven't got the dexterity to type those questions, if you just want to ask the question outright, go ahead and raise your hand. And we can get right to you. If you're like me and you like typing your things out, you can go ahead and put it in the Q&A box. We'll keep an eye on that as well. I'm just going through the messages that are in there now to make sure. Put that in. Nya, there's a question in the Q&A.
Yeah, I'm still answering all of them now, Lou. I think I've answered about 12 of them. I think I've got 2 to go.
You got a lot of them in there. So
yeah,
do you have something on the menu for folk with simple taste?
Yeah, so just to give it a little bit more about the menu, and maybe I should have left those slides up a little bit longer, but the menu is approachable, but upscale. So when I say approachable, that means it's food that we all know about. You won't walk in there and say, hey, Nya, what's this? Or what's that? Or I don't understand this. It'll be very approachable, but prepared with different flavors and different sophistication that you may or may not have had in the past. That's our goal. So our goal isn't to, bring you something exotic or bring you something that perhaps you've never heard of before. I believe that most people, 80% of people, eat food that they are familiar with on a daily basis. And on the rare occasion, you may try something a little bit more exotic that you've never had before. But for most of us, including myself, we eat, food that we know. And that's what my plan is, to bring you quality, good food that you're familiar with in a more upscale, modern environment. When I say upscale, I just mean modern, a little bit clean, a little bit like, hey, I like being here. This is comfortable. I feel good being here. They're friendly. They're welcoming. That kind of thing is what I mean by approachable, and a space where I think you'll want to be in. I know I have an idea who you are.
Excellent. Anyone want to put your hand up and ask a direct question? Now, we had some early hands. What's the address of the location again? 14628 East Jefferson. That's at the corner of Jefferson and Manistee. So just to kind of put you to help you see the corner, this is across from Johnson & Co. Barbershop. This is across from the old St. Columba Hall. This is across the street from Hope Church, not Hope Church, excuse me, the old Faith Church. Josh, you have your hand up?
I do. Naya, I've got a question because this came on the Facebook page today when we were advertising this. An individual had a question about vegetarian options, and would you be having vegetarian options in your menu?
Yeah, so one thing about Black people, like we all know, we like a myriad of food, and most of us care about what we put in our bodies. So, in addition to bringing you quality food of what you put in your body, we will offer not only vegetarian, but we will have vegan options as well. So, there you will see on the menu where they'll say, it will say the item, and then we will also have the option of making it vegan or vegetarian, or it may specifically be vegan or vegetarian, but those options will be offered on a daily basis in each seasonal menu that we launch.
There's a question in the Q&A that says, how will this differ from Ivy?
Typing it out right now, Lou. Yep, I'm on that one. That's the one I'm on right now.
Do you want to tell us too, or can you tell in type?
Yeah, I can't talk and type, but I can do one and then repeat it. So basically, there will be some similarities to Ivy in a sense that the quality that you get, the level of hospitality that you receive, if you've been to Ivy, that will be the same. We plan to obviously we pride ourselves on Black excellence. So we all know that Black restaurants have a history of not being very clean. The workers having attitudes. Not being very welcoming. Well, we try to provide conjecture to that and be the absolute opposite of that. So we are the friendly, welcoming restaurant. In addition to that, the quality of the food. However, where there will be differences will be the actual menu items. So the actual concept there will be different. Ivy is more of I would say, eclectic menu option. Well, this will be a little bit more modern and contemporary, meaning that it's going to have a very approachable option for food list of food items, as well as a menu approach, beverage menu approach. But you will also be able to just say that you want to bring your colleagues and your coworkers there. That'll be a space where you're comfortable doing so. If you want to just pop in at night and say, hey, I don't feel like cooking tonight, I'm going to walk across the street, or I'm going to walk up the street and go to the Nya's place. And that will also be an option for you as well, to bring your family and have family oriented meals. So the goal is to have family shareables, or a shareable menu where you can share with your family and friends. And that's definitely a difference that we don't have at Ivy.
Excellent. You're answering that one now. I see a yay for vegetarians. And how do you see the restaurants vote for? So Mike, just to clarify, we are voting on this restaurant. There's not other restaurant to vote on at this point. All of these questions, and I really want to get into the JEI portion of tonight, because we do have representatives here from FEMA, and I want to make sure that we give some time for that as well. So thank you, Nya. She's still here, you guys. So if you want to put questions in the Q&A, you see she's in there answering them.
And then Lutalo, just if we could remind folks, this is recorded. We'll have it up on our Facebook and YouTube page. We will be sort of promoting this so that if folks couldn't make it tonight, they can log in and they can see Miss Marshall's presentation and have a good week of voting. From here, we'll look at the results, and if, knock on wood, everything goes well, Miss Marshall and I will sort of finalize lease, and we'll be able to get a timeline up here to get it open and everything too. But I just wanted to thank Miss Marshall for joining tonight and for being willing to walk this journey with us, and just really the respect she's shown this community, and giving folks agency and helping to help us determine how we move the neighborhood forward. So I will just say that she has been a pleasure to work with as we've gone through this process. So Ms. Marshall, thank you. And we will people vote, like I'd say when I was back in school, Chicago, vote early and vote often. So there we go.
You have that radio voice, Josh. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. And please remember to vote for us. There was a question in the chat, though, that I kind of want to address. And the question is actually, it makes a little sense, but and it makes a lot of sense. It says, why, I'm not understanding why we're voting if we don't have a choice of what to vote for. So essentially, you're voting if you want to have me. If you don't, then you guys go back to the drawing board and they will bring you more options at that point. But currently there's one option, that option is me. And I understand and respectfully, hopefully everybody votes for us, fingers crossed, but I understand if you don't. And if you don't, that just means that they will present to you another option, Mr. Burdell. Just wanted to get that out the way. Thank you guys again. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your love in the chats. I'm feeling the love already. Please vote for us, and we look forward to the results next week. Have a great day, but I'm going to hang on for FEMA as well, guys. Again, I'm in the Marina District, so thank you.
Thanks, Nya. So the first thing we want to go through in our programs and community updates for Jefferson East is FEMA. And we're lucky today to have a FEMA voluntary agency liaison, Sandy Cole. She's on the line with us today. Just kind of going through, there's this whole disaster assistance for storms from last year, from 2023. And there's been a lot of questions about this in 2021, and we've got a lot of information circulating, but I wanted you to get it from the source. We wanted to make sure that the person who told you what was going on is someone who represents FEMA and can give us the information in a very good way. So Sandy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Good evening, everybody. This slide here is our disaster assistance slide for the storm that was in 2023. The disaster recovery centers, to be able to apply for a FEMA support, has been extended to May 8th. So residents can apply for FEMA assistance online. You can go to the online support, which is the FEMA.gov. You can use your mobile app, which is the FEMA app, or you can call the 800 number. In addition, you can visit one of our, what we call DRCs, they're disaster recovery centers. And in Detroit right now, there are only 2 open. The first Samaritan is no longer open. Your second one, your Resolve Family Center, that one is open. We do not have a close date for that at this time, so it will remain open to the best of our knowledge till after the closing of May 8th. Closing of registration, I mean. And the Kemi Recreation Center will be open until Saturday at 6 o'clock. After that time, that will be closed. So then you'll only have one disaster recovery center at that time. I want to give you a little bit of our numbers that we have so far here in Michigan. We have had, let me make sure I got this right, 120,529 registrants as of today, when I last checked those numbers. Out of that, 75% are from your county, from Wayne County. There are only 4% that are pending any type of action, whether it be inspections from FEMA or applicants needing to have a little bit more information for their cases. There has been $260.8 million spent in the 9 counties. Over 70 million have been on rental assistance in Wayne County. Those are big numbers. So that's a little bit of what we've been doing here the past couple of months trying to help. And if I'm driving, we'll go to the next slide. Okay. This is for your disaster assistance. It gives you your phone number to call if you want to call in and apply, or you want to call in and follow up on an application you already have in process. You're more than welcome to use that 800 number. There's TTY available for those people that need some additional types to be able to speak. So we do try to make sure there are many languages that are covered, as well as if somebody has some communication issues, we try to make sure that they're covered as well. So that's our number, and the flyers are available. Okay, a lot of people have applied and they may get a letter that says, well, we can't approve right now, or something's missing. You can always do an appeal. With FEMA, there is no hard stops. You can apply, you can appeal, you can appeal, you can appeal. So know that you always have an option to move forward. There are 3 ways to support an appeal process. You can do it online. You can do it by fax, send in your appeal by fax, and you can send it in by mail. There are also some supports to help you if you need assistance in writing the appeal. We do have some support that we can offer you to have support doing those appeals. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time. So if you want to read some of this information, we have plenty of flyers at our DRCs, and with anybody that wants a flyer, we can email them to you. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. We'd be happy to answer them. If I don't know the answer, and Jaleel, who is also on the line, isn't able to answer it, we will get back to you. So these are some how to appeal, what you might need for your information to be able to move your appeal forward. And like I said, there is assistance to be able to write an appeal if you're not sure how to do it. Okay. FEMA has what we call clean and sanitize. So there are homes that have been affected that need some support cleaning up instead of you buying mops and brooms and supply. We will provide you with some money to be able to get those cleaning supplies if that's what you need. So some people have just needed the cleaning supplies and they received the $300 for that. I'm not sure that there's anything that hasn't been seen yet. There are many different types of needs for people. And the clean and sanitize is one of the easiest ones if you just need support to get things cleaned. So we have that availability as well. This is one of the ladies that is able to help you in your area. Miss Council is from Detroit Disaster Recovery Group, and this is her phone number. So if you needed some assistance in writing your appeal or have some questions, she's very versed in what FEMA does. So again, there are 2 disaster recovery sites still open. One will be closing Saturday, and that is the Kemi Recreation Center. That one's only open till Saturday. And then when they close the doors on Saturday, that will be closed for good. And the other is the Bushnell, and that one, we don't have a date for that closing one yet. So I hope that information will help you a little bit in applying for FEMA and working your way through. There are a number of VALs that are on the team. Those are voluntary agency liaisons that are willing to help you if you have some questions or need some special support. We're here to support and help you. Thank you for your time this evening, and I'd be more than happy to answer questions if I can.
Lutella, if I could jump in, I think another great organization that we can direct people to if they need help is After the Storm Michigan. They've received the FEMA contract to do disaster case management sort of region-wide. We have a referral relationship with After the Storm as part of our housing work. So we'll go ahead and drop After the Storm information in there as well too. And we can also get you the case manager's contact there as well too.
Yes, sir. And to the best of my knowledge, After the Storm is working on the previous disaster. They're tying that ends up, but they have a presence in this one as well. But they are working on the past disaster. But they are very much supporting the people of Michigan.
Hey, Sandy.
Yes, sir.
There's a question in the Q&A that says, and this is just for 2023, not the 2021 damage. Can you talk a little bit about folks who are still dealing with 2021?
I was not involved in the 2021 storm. As your colleague stated, that after the storm is the one that received the funding for the case management for that.
Okay.
It looks like Jaleel might be able to answer that question a little better than I can.
Please, Jaleel.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, is there any way to get some thumbs up on whether or not you can hear me okay, due to the fact that I am in my vehicle right now? We just came from a community event, so.
You're good, Jaleel.
All right, perfect. So just to introduce myself, my name is Jaleel Rivera. I'm one of the voluntary agency liaisons here, boots on the ground in Detroit and Lansing area to assist with the disaster recovery efforts through our capacity in FEMA. So just to answer the question about whether or not the disaster assistance registration period, whether or not it's for 2023 or 2021, specifically this specific disaster has to do with the 2023 August flooding event. Unfortunately, there was a whole team and a whole registration period for the 2021 event. And if you were to register with FEMA now, it would have to be for disaster damage due to the August flooding event last year. However, like Mr. Ealing said, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, sir. The After the Storm was the one that won the disaster case management grant for the 2021 disaster. Currently, there is no applicants can't register at this point because the deadline is well past. And for those who may still be experiencing damage, I apologize because it may have, I'm not sure what happened during that disaster. And unfortunately, we're not necessarily here to address the needs. Luckily, as VALS, Voluntary Agency Liaison, that's the acronym we use, we are able to help triage some of those cases and direct them to the nonprofits who are handling the cases for that disaster, which would be After the Storm, like Mr. Ealing and Sandy mentioned. And if I appreciate you, sir, for going ahead and dropping that flyer, because I do have it and I wasn't able to. And they're the ones that's handling case management for those impacted by the 2021 event. To my knowledge, as of right now, they're still working cases for that event, and they're providing appeal assistance for anyone who is still struggling with the FEMA process. Typically, as VALS, we work with nonprofits to help build capacity in addressing what we call unmet needs in the community. And usually with disasters like this, it tends to take quite a long time for people to recover. As a survivor myself in 2017, my hometown got rocked by Hurricane Irma and Maria. The U.S. Virgin Islands was pretty much distraught, and a lot of people are still recovering from that. Hence the reason why those long-term recovery groups and organizations like After the Storm are here for the long haul to assist with that. I hope that kind of helped with a lot of the clarity between 2021 event and the 2023 event, and the purpose as to why FEMA is here now.
Did we have any more questions? Thank you for those answers. I think it's important for people to be able to tell the difference, who they need to contact for which event. That's a question that comes up a lot.
Definitely. And I, even at this, and not to cut you off, Mr. Lou, even at this event that I was just at, many people did have concerns. They asked, is this for the 2021 event? So it goes to show there are still people who need support with their needs due to that event. But as VALs, we are able to provide those flyers and even provide some kind of insight into additional resources that may be available even during this time to assist with those needs. And please, if there's any more other questions for FEMA, myself and Sandy can do whatever we can to address those. I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions, but I'm hoping that people aren't scared for it.
We've got a couple of hands up. I'm going to go into that. It looks like Fat Mike made it, has a question. Go ahead and unmute, Mike. Mike, we can't hear you. You'll have to unmute yourself. Okay. Well, Mike is working on that. Tracy, you have a question. Go ahead, Tracy.
I'm sorry, I didn't have a question. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't have a question, but since you called me out, can I ask if I'm buying under land contract, am I able to get assistance on a commercial property that had damages during that storm?
So I can answer that question. Typically, in terms of commercial property, there are branches of FEMA that can assist with that. However, just a disclaimer on this specific disaster, the state would have had to request what's known as public assistance for that specific assistance type. I believe in terms of commercial property, SBA, Small Business Administration, would be the best go-to because they usually, in tandem with FEMA, once a impacted area is declared for FEMA to come in and assist, SBA comes right alongside to assist with the business side of disaster relief. And I can go ahead and try to find the Small Business Administration hotline for that question to be addressed. In terms of FEMA assistance, like if you're looking for grant assistance, that wouldn't necessarily be a question I'd have a solid answer for, if I'm being completely honest, due to the fact that this specific disaster was really declared for individual assistance, which focuses on individuals and households. However, SBA, Small Business Administration, whenever they come out with FEMA, they're usually the ones, the go-tos for the business side of things. That's a pretty good question. Quite keeping us on our toes here today. But I will go ahead, if you don't mind, Mr. Liu, would you be able to take Tracy's information if she is willing to provide it so that we can follow up on that specific question?
Absolutely.
A lot of times, right, a lot of times as VALs, we don't have all the answers. And believe it or not, another FEMA person may not know what to do with that question. So I'm glad you asked it, and we'll go ahead and follow up with you for that question, just to give you a solid answer. But the answer right now, I believe it would be directed to Small Business Administration for loan assistance. And I believe they provide up to $3 million for businesses who were impacted by the disaster event. I hope that helps, at least.
It did. Thank you so much.
The website for Small Business Association is www.sba.gov. So you can get information there, and from what I'm seeing, you can actually apply online with them through their website.
Perfect. And there we go, Mr. Liu just put it in the chat for us. Appreciate that, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions for the team? I know I saw some hands earlier, and my guess is some of those hands were for Nya Marshall. I'm sorry she may have gotten away from you guys. Oh, Mary is on. She's got a question. Go ahead, Mary. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. It's actually a comment, having some experience with the August 2021 flooding recovery. One thing that was very helpful, and I'm hoping FEMA will have the resources to do this, and that is to engage local media, to invite residents of the areas that you're working in, give them a number and a name, perhaps a name, and how they can reach you, perhaps over 2 or 3 broadcasts, news broadcasts, or over 2 or 3 days, where the general public can hear how to reach you and what the deadline is. I think that would really help.
I will turn that into our public affairs and let them know that there was an inquiry and ask if they take that from there. So I will turn that over to our public affairs.
Thanks, Cindy.
You're welcome.
And just to add to that, typically, I believe on this disaster, there has been a great many amount of what we call speakers bureaus events. That is what we would call it on the FEMA side. Basically, a lot of them would either be registration events, town halls. There is sometimes some mitigation events to help those who may have mold remediation needs, to get a bit better insight on how to clean mold, how to prepare, and how to prevent mold from accumulating in the home. There has been a great many of those up till this point. We're hoping that they do more. Since we're so close to the registration deadline, which is May 8th once again, I believe typically FEMA starts to wind down and right size staff. So we're already in that point where a lot of people are beginning to leave. However, there are, I believe, definitely a few weeks to where there will be some more speakers bureau. For example, Mr. Lou and Sandy mentioned Miss Lawan Council. I just came from an event at her food distribution site where we had some staff there to go ahead and register people. There was also on the 22nd at the Commonwealth Baptist Church, there is also going to be another town hall event on the 22nd on Monday at, I believe, it starts at 3:30. That's going to be another event where people can voice their concerns, register with FEMA, and get some of the assistance they need from some of the nonprofits in the area. So those efforts have been going on, and I'm hoping that they go a bit further into the registration period. But as we get closer to that period, they're going to start to right size and come and be more and more scarce, so to say, as we downgrade staff. But if possible, we can definitely keep you guys updated as town hall meetings and speakers bureaus still come on our radar.
Thank you for that, Jaleel. We're going to keep moving a little bit so that we can get to our other programs. But if people have questions for Sandy or Jaleel, just drop them into the Q&A box, and we'll make sure that we get to those questions. I'm hoping they can stick around just a bit longer, and then we can come back to them. We don't want to miss out on the other programs that are going on. So first off, right out the gate, we've got a new team member. Joanne Thompson is JEI's new Chief Financial Officer. She's been with us now for a couple of weeks. So real exciting stuff. We've got somebody who can make sure that we're on path with our money, making sure that we're using this for the betterment of the community and our programs. Welcome Joanne Thompson on board.
Lutalo, if I could add about Joanne. Joanne was actually a contract employee with us, working with our contract accounting partner, UHY, really for the past 7 years. And so she has great experience on not only the JEI side, but also helping us manage sort of the complex financial relationships around our real estate development deals, historic tax credits, home dollars, things of that nature. So this is a huge add for us, given, we're not the same little old Jiba that we were when I started 17 years ago. We are much more complex. We're close to a $5 million organization now. And so we needed to bring this capacity on to allow us to continue to grow and manage all of these complex housing counseling grants that Elizabeth Hunter brings in for us to help everybody in the neighborhood. So anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Josh. Fifth precinct ComStat meeting is tomorrow. We'll be at Hope Community Church from 1 to 2. Ask you all to come join us. There'll definitely be food on site. And we'll be talking about public safety in the 5th precinct, which includes Jefferson Chalmers. Please come join us. The AT&T Connected Learning Center is live. We've got a digital navigator who is on site. Her name is Danielle Taylor Basemore. So if you're uncomfortable with computers, you've got somebody who can help you. You just schedule an appointment with her. I'll drop her phone number and name in the chat. If you are comfortable on computers and you don't need Danielle's help, but you just want to get on a computer, we're there from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Please come in and use the computers. That's what they're there for. There's free broadband, there's free Wi-Fi. So if you just need to get on there and work on some things on your own, feel free. If you feel uncomfortable and you need a little help, Danielle can help you with that. Just a reminder, we do provide home and business safety assessments for residents and businesses. And we also provide both of different target hardening devices for your home and for your vehicle. If you've got questions about that, please reach out to me because I can help you find out what you're eligible for, what you could get, door stops, deadbolt locks, carbon monoxide, detectors, everything, light bulbs. So just reach out to us. And then our small business, we've got the NFL draft is coming, and there are people who have a business but haven't updated their Google profile. Please reach out to our community tech workers. You can go on DetroitMeansBusiness.org/digital hub, and they'll be right there for you. I also wanted to acknowledge the 25 residents that are certified as emergency responders through the Detroit CERT training program. We hosted that here at Jefferson East in our Rivertown location. And we had, I don't know if you guys can see Miss Joanne and Pastor Rita in here, but we've got folks from Jefferson Chalmers who learned how to be emergency responders. So if there is an emergency, we've got boots on the ground right in the neighborhood. If you've got questions, I've got answers. You can reach out to me via email or by phone. And I want to turn over now to Elizabeth Hunter for our JEI housing services.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I won't take too much time from you guys. My name is Elizabeth Hunter. I am the Senior HUD Housing Counselor Manager here at Jefferson East. And I just want to go over some of the different things that we've done so far this quarter, and then some of the up and coming events that we have coming as well. Oh, I'm in charge, right, Lou?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our housing counseling program so far this quarter has had 67 home buyers come to our workshop. So these are potential future home buyers, people interested in becoming home buyer ready. Again, we are a HUD certified housing counseling agency here at Jefferson East, meaning we do meet the requirement to give out the certificate for the first time home buyer homeownership workshop that you can take to lenders, and they will provide you with down payment assistance. So if you are interested in that, or you know someone who may be interested in that, please send them our way. We also opened up the hub. We did discuss this at the last master plan meeting, that we were opening up the hub for the Accounting Aid Society. They were able to come in and provide 16 tax independent individual tax appointments for individuals in our community. Many of the individuals in our service area, if you've ever called Accounting Aid, some of the locations are a tad bit far, so we were able to offer assistance for that. During that time, we were able to complete HOPE property tax exemption applications with 3 of the residents that came in, and then we also are an intake site for the zero interest home improvement loan. We were able to complete one of those as well. So yay us. Congratulations to my team. Thank you all so much who supported us with that. And again, if you feel like you know someone who may want to take advantage of our services, please, please, please send them our way. All right, so we do have another workshop coming up. This one is to help individuals build credit for building resiliency for renters and homeowner and post-purchase. So if you think about credit, you need credit in all 3 of those areas. Many individuals didn't realize until the new days, if you haven't, tried to get a rental in a long time, you need credit to rent an apartment. You need credit to purchase a home. You need credit to fix up and such home. You never know when you may need it. So my suggestion is that you learn how to use it, learn how to build it, rebuild it, maintain it. And we can help you do that here at Jefferson East. So we have a workshop coming up May 8th from 12 to 2 p.m. This is a virtual workshop. In addition to that, when you do participate in this workshop, you will gain access to a tri-merge credit report, which will give you all 3 scores in one place. We will sit down and we will go over an individualized plan to help you increase your score if needed. All right. And then we have the homeownership workshop, the one I talked about at the beginning with those great numbers. Again, thank you all for your participation. With that homeownership workshop, even if you can't stay, I know it's a tad bit long. It's from 4 to 8:30 p.m. This is also May 8th as well. It is virtually though. If you can't stay for the entire thing, we have been engaging with the community and bringing on different presenters to speak with the community throughout the home buying process. We have had a realtor on to speak with the community. We've had Bank of America on to speak with the community as a lender. We had the Detroit Land Bank on this month to speak with the community of how you can purchase a home through the land bank. Great opportunity. The presenters typically come on for the first hour. So if you can just stop by and just listen to the presenter, I know that next month coming up on May 8th, we will have a real estate broker on to speak with the community about their different lending products available. So again, feel free to just stop by for that first hour. You have to stay for the whole thing in order to receive that certificate. Again, we are a HUD certified housing counseling agency. But if you want to just stop by and hear that presenter with this great wealth of knowledge with each different one, I encourage you to stop by for that. And last but not least, this is a big one. We put on a workshop last month that we had over 50 participants come on for our home repair workshop. Thank you all for those who supported that workshop. But this one is for individuals who may be looking for home repairs. Jefferson East does have a lot of home repair services and things we can offer to the community. If you would like to secure a slot for this, please fill out the home repair interest list. We are gathering a waiting list to see what the need is and to try our best to fulfill that need for the community. Again, we would love to just see what your feedback is, get you added to our waiting list and see what we can do to support you in your need for home repair. I see that Josh has a question.
I wanted to just say how important this is. One of the things right now is we're putting the finishing touches on a major request of the federal government for more home repair resources. Part of the way that helped us to look at this was a wait list. How many people said they still needed furnaces from the flood in 2021? How many people still need roofs? How many people still need sewer lines to be backed out? we take this data and it helps inform our requests to what we look for additional funds. On top of this, as many of you know, the home repair resources in Detroit they're getting better, but they still are very scattered. So for example, someone might be able to use DTE's Energy Assistance Program for a new furnace, but we also have to line up funds we have available from the Detroit Home Repair Fund to take care of the asbestos pipe wrap around some of the old pipes that might be in your house. So the more we know about what your needs are, the more we can start to reach out to you when we have funds that come available. We continue to work through our existing home repair list. I know the team, we've got about 25 active home repair projects under construction right now in different neighborhoods up and down the East Jefferson corridor. But we also have some new tranches of funding coming in. So we want to make sure that if you need help with home repair, please fill out our home repair waitlist form so that we can add you to the list and start to see if we can line you up with different resources. And if we don't have the resources, we can also refer you over to other resources, be these funds that might be controlled by Wayne Metro for emergency plumbing repair, or state emergency assistance, or the Renew Detroit program. But anyway, we just need to know what's going on out there so we can get you plugged into more resources. So I'll stop talking now and turn it back to Elizabeth.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for that. Again, we may not be able to, in-house fulfill every single need, but we want to gauge so that we can petition ourselves to continue to help. Like Josh said, we have about 25 projects. We do have individuals on our waiting list, but we would like to add to that list. Sometimes we have different items like furnaces that we're trying to support individuals with, and we have more of those available. So we would like to know what your needs are, and fill out that waiting list will definitely help us with that. So thank you so much for that, Josh, as well.
Hey, Elizabeth, there's a
Yes.
question in the Q&A. For your
Okay.
homeowners workshop, how much of a down payment would one receive once they complete the workshop?
So the down payment assistance is determined by the lender. So many lenders, if they have any down payment assistance programs available, they will require that you take a HUD certified housing counseling agency's first time home buyers workshop to fulfill that need and to receive that down payment assistance. So you would take the certificate. I always say start with who you bank with. So if you bank with ABC Bank, you start with them, asking them, what type of options and programs they have available. Again, more than likely, it will be a requirement that you take the course with us. Thank you for that great question. I hope that answered it for you. So again, my name is Elizabeth Hunter. I am the Senior HUD Housing Counseling Manager here at Jefferson East. This is my contact information. Feel free to take it. We are definitely, filtering through those calls, and I am available to you at the Resource Hub as well. And that is, again, at the Neighborhood Resource Hub. I am there Tuesday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Feel free to stop by and come in and see me. Thank you all.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Feel free to pop all your questions into the chat. I will go through them now, or, feel free, if Lou has time, to let you go ahead and ask those live. Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you. We're going to kind of move things along. We've got 1 minute left, and I want to make sure at least we get the announcements. So again, please register through Election Buddy so you can vote on our potential tenant. 5th Precinct Comstat meeting is tomorrow. Please join us. Here's another Motor City makeover. I've been twisting Josh's arm a little bit. I know he's being forced. So if you ask, it's all my fault. But Project 1822 and JEI, we want to work in the neighborhood, do some cleanup. And we're going to get together on May 11th, which is where districts 4 and 5 will be coming together for Motor City Makeover. We'll meet at the JEI Resource Hub about 10 a.m., do some projects in the neighborhood. This is really just a good chance for us to clean up and do some good things in the community. What I will say is JEI, we have a long history of cleaning up the community. We've had our clean ambassadors who have 145 cans in the neighborhood that they clear out, north of 90 tons of garbage this past year. So a clean neighborhood is very important to us. Clean programming is very important to us. A beautiful neighborhood, a clean neighborhood tends to be a safer neighborhood, tends to be more enjoyable for community. And we're dedicated to a clean neighborhood. So this will be another opportunity for us to do something. And working with the Project 1822 folks at 14635 East Jefferson, the old St. Columba building, just trying to make sure that we do some things in the neighborhood that are productive and clean and putting out flowers and all the good stuff. If you've got an area that you want to identify and pinpoint for us that we can focus on, absolutely reach out to me. We've already talked about the building credit workshop, but I just want to put that back in your head on Wednesday the 8th. And again, the home ownership workshop, also Wednesday the 8th from 4 to 8:30. These things are powerful, you guys. If you missed it, you've missed some good stuff, but fortunately she's doing them every month, so you get another chance. The Connected Learning Center, which we talked about a little bit earlier. I know there have been people who have said, when are you guys opening the computer lab? It's open. Come on by and use the computers. We've got them there for your use. Please come by. And if you need help with your resume or you got questions about graphic design or the Google Suite, we've got a person on staff whose whole job is that. You see her working with this gentleman here, trying to identify what's even a good, looks like he's helping him figure out what kind of devices he could get for his own home. So he could even help with that. If you're a business owner and you need help with technology, you won't use Danielle. You'll use Ed or Diamond. Just log into DetroitMeansBusiness.org, and then you can connect with them and they can help you. They've helped hundreds of businesses already, and they're from the neighborhood. They speak the language, they understand. What one? Oh, I'm going to get back to Got any other questions? Visit our website at jeffersoneast.org. We will try to get these some video clips of what's happened today on our website as quickly as possible. But this video is also on our Facebook page. So feel free to go on Facebook and see this information. And you could have already received an email about voting by now or a text message about voting by now. Our next meeting is June 17th, 6 to 7:30. We look forward to seeing you there. We got one question left. Josh, I don't know, was Marcus thinking about doing a development in JC recently? I'm not sure who Marcus is.
Wait, yeah, which Marcus? We've had a succession of various Marcuses that's worked for us over the year on the development side. Lynn, was this Marcus? Are you thinking of Brandon Hodges, your neighbor, and also he does consulting work with us, but he also has Tribe Development, and he had proposed a new multifamily development there on Jefferson, just right across from Go Lightly. Lynn, is that what you were thinking of?
Nailed it.
Was that it? Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
So Lynn, Brandon did share, I think he's going to have some news shortly. I think they got some good news on some financing on that development, but I don't want to get ahead of him too much. So we'll chat with him, but he and I were talking about next steps on engagement around that project. Just for the record, JEI is not in that deal. That's a private development with Tribe Development, CHN, Housing Partners. But we will be playing a role in providing some housing counseling services and engagement as they move into the more aggressive design period now that they have obtained financing. So we'll keep you posted on that. That might be a good topic, actually, Lutalo, for the next meeting. I think they might be ready to go on some more substantive engagement now.
I'll reach out to Brandon.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you for sticking with us a little over. We're about 5 minutes over, but thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you. If we don't see you in person or on another meeting somewhere here in between, we'll see you on June 17th. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.